Alright, what's going on everybody? I'm your man Akeen and welcome to today's vlog. We are halfway through the college football season, and as I promised, I'm going to give you some mid-season recognition and awards for some of the top individuals and teams of the college football season. I'm going to start with best team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Statistically, they have the best defense in the nation. Number one, allowing just 7 points per game. They have a tremendous defensive unit. Plus, they have a strong offensive line. Open up holes for probably the best running back tandem in the nation with Eddie Lacy and Trent Richardson. This is a great team, and they deserve to be number 2 in the nation over Oklahoma. Oklahoma started the season number 1. Now, there was an argument with LSU, but the reason why I put Alabama ahead is because their defense is just a tad better than LSU, but it's a great argument. Most disappointing team, I'm going to have to stick with the SEC Conference and Mississippi State. The Bulldogs they're 0-3 in SEC play, and I'm a little bit surprised because with Chris Welf and Vic Ballard returning on offense, I think they were going to, with Coach Dan Mullen was going to lead this team to a couple of good victories and even be a dark horse for the SEC championship. I'm a little bit surprised in them, and I thought they would have did a lot better, but they need to boost up later on in the season because they still have some tough games ahead, and I think they need to just boost back and get their confidence back up in the season and recover from a 3-0 start in the SEC play. Biggest surprise this season, the Clemson Tigers. They are 6-0, including big wins against Auburn, Florida State, and Virginia Tech, all national televised games, and this was a great season thus far for Dabo Swinney and the Tigers. This was a great season thus far. I'm a little bit surprised. The quarterback play from Taj Boyd, he's actually showing that he's one of the best quarterbacks in recent years for Clemson. He's having a tremendous season. They have a good heavy recruiting class coming into this season, including Sammy Watkins, who is their leading receiver, Andre Ellington, Mike Bellamy. They have a lot of weapons on offense, and they look like they have a smooth sailing season ahead of them, meaning they have a chance of going undefeated going into the ACC championship, but we will see. So I'm going to have to go on to Coach of the Year. I mentioned Dabo Swinney, but I'm also going to give another coach some recognition. I'm going to start with Dabo Swinney. He had he was actually on the hot seat going in the beginning of the season, but sparking up this team to a 6-0. Had a great heavy recruiting class coming into this season. There's a great future, a bright future ahead for the Clemson Tigers. This is a young team, and I think they're going to pull a lot of wins and even make it to that ACC championship. Now, the other Coach of the Year that I have to mention, the co-Coach of the Year, Les Miles of LSU. LSU has been dealing with a lot of off-the-field issues. A lot of people were concerned with Jordan Jefferson not playing for the first couple of games. They thought, a lot of people, including myself, thought that LSU was going to struggle. But their defense kept the team together, crushing opponents, led by Tyrann Mathieu, who a lot of people think he should get a nomination for the Heisman Trophy. He's having a tremendous year. They're actually crushing teams on national television, of big wins over Oregon, Florida, and West Virginia. Big wins over these teams, and this is a great team, and they do deserve to be that #1 team. After going through so much problems on the offseason, Les Miles still led this team, kept them focused, and reaching to that #1 team in the nation. So I have to go with co-coaches of the year, Dabo Swinney of Clemson and Les Miles of LSU. Now, the coach who was on the hot seat, at first I had Mike Stoops of Arizona because he started the season 0-4 in Pac-12 play, but he was just recently fired. So now my new coach who's on the hot seat is Turner Gill of Kansas. He's starting the season with 0-2. Also, they are allowing 49.4 points per game defensively. They're struggling on the defensive side, and they have a lot of tough games ahead of them, including games against Texas A&M, Oklahoma this week, and Texas. And I don't really think, I'll be pretty surprised if they pull out 2 more wins later on in the season. I think they might even go winless for the rest of the season. Their first 2 weeks of the year, they won against non-conference teams, but in the conference play, they're playing terrible. They might not get a victory later on in the season, and if that's the case, Turner Gill will be definitely on the hot seat. Now, it's time for me to give you my top 5 players who is up for the Heisman Trophy later on in the season. The Heisman Trophy is given to the most outstanding player in the nation, and I decided to come up with the best players who has been playing the best thus far this season. At number 5, I'm going to have to go with Kellen Moore of Boise State. He's throwing for 17 touchdowns for 4 interceptions, but his stats dwindled a little bit. I could have had him a little bit higher, but his stats has been dropping a little bit. Last season he had 39 touchdown passes with just 5 picks. This season he's struggling a little bit. A couple of nationalized television games he hasn't been playing big, like a game against Georgia, 261 yards. Yes, they did beat Georgia, but his numbers weren't that huge. So I think he's kind of losing his status as a Heisman Trophy winner. At number 4, I'm going to go with Trent Richardson of Alabama. He's having 12 total touchdowns this season, over 750 yards rushing. Plus, he's with the other tandem running back, Eddie Lacy, splitting carries with him, and they actually still have him pulling off 12 touchdowns. That is amazing. In just 6 games, he's actually projected to get to 24 touchdowns this season, but we will see. He has a lot of tough games ahead. But what really boosted up his status is the game against Florida when he had a career high 181 yards, and I had to put him at number 4. At number 3, a little bit of a surprise, Andrew Luck of Stanford. Politically, everybody thinks he should be the number 1 player in the nation, the number 1 Heisman candidate. But I have to put him at number 3 because there are 2 players who I believe have been doing better. I have to talk a little bit about Andrew Luck. He's passing over 70%. He actually caught a pass, but running, he's not rushing the football. He's not doing it as good as he did last season, and that's why I had to put him at number 3. Plus, he's actually been losing his time out of the spotlight, not on very good national televised games. Stanford Cardinals are crushing teams, but they're not really getting that much media. So I'm going to have to go with Andrew Luck at number 3. At number 2, RG3. Robert Griffin III of Baylor. Yes, a little bit of a surprise. Honestly, he has been performing better than Andrew Luck of Stanford. He's actually leading the nation in touchdown passes as well as completion percentage. And I think plus he's number 2 in passing efficiency, and he's having a tremendous year. Yes, he had 1 loss, but he's averaging over 300 yards per game. Plus, he's rushed for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I had to put him in front of Andrew Luck, only because, as I said, the Heisman Trophy is given to the most outstanding player in college football, and Robert Griffin has been outperforming Andrew Luck. And at number 1, I'm going to have to go with Russell Wilson of Wisconsin. After a big win over Nebraska, plus Wisconsin has been crushing teams this season, I had to put Russell Wilson at number 1. Like Cam Newton, he's a transfer, and he is now part with the right team at the right place at the right time. Wisconsin could go undefeated and even make it to that national championship. They're ranked in the top 5, and he's leading the way. Plus, he's having a couple of touchdown rushes himself, and he is leading the nation in passing efficiency, and that's why I had to put him at number 1. And I have been talking about him week after week as my dark horse for the Heisman Trophy, and I had to bump him up at number 1. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys about college football will be on Monday, where I'll give you a recap of Week 7 of the college football season. Thank you for watching today's blog from Sports News Insider. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.